All right, y'all, what's happening? Welcome, welcome. It is October 29th, Wednesday. It is 10:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 Central, and this is the stream with Bookmap. Welcome. FOMC day, baby. It's FOMC day. VIX is skyrocketing to 17. We have this disgusting back and forth price action on NASDAQ, all of which has been done with very low volume relatively. We have NVIDIA hitting $5 trillion market cap for the first time ever, or any name for that matter for the first time ever. We have gold put on a beautiful 3C bottom wick to really replicate the exact play from yesterday. That was the same exact play 2 days in a row on gold, and that is the extent of my trading so far the past 2 days. No trades on NASDAQ. We have 633 million of puts purchased. We have 600 million of calls purchased for a neck and neck move. We have liquidity on Bookmap, as you see here on the stream, to 26,312. We have 26,325, and we have the missus making a whole bunch of noise in the kitchen. Do you have the Discord link? I do. Let me get it for you. I meant to post that. My apologies. Copy. There you go. And I'll post it in the stream analysis channel as well. There we go. So liquidity has been kind of holding things into the 325 area for NASDAQ. For the S&P, ES, there's really nothing on here at all. We have 69.50, and that's it. So price action is awful, terrible, ridiculous, nonsense. And that's all we're going for. I don't know if they'll put on a much larger move than now going into the 2 o'clock time frame. Time to go short, maybe a few weeks out. High IV equals calls and puts. Sounds like a super theta burning nothing burger day. Can you post it on YouTube? I'll join the Discord. I didn't know you had one. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Thank you. Is today the buy one, get one on like buttons? Heck yeah, baby. Hit that like button. If you're looking on the S&P, which right now I'm on the Discord, but right now the XLK is up 1.15%, and that is the same exact thing they did yesterday, primarily because NVIDIA has gone nuts for 2 days in a row. I think that's a collective 10% move on NVIDIA in 2 days. Ridiculous. And that's causing XLK to be extraordinarily overvalued. If you already know, NVIDIA makes up more than 8% of the S&P right now. It's ridiculous. 8%. One single name is worth 8% of your entire livelihood in retirement. Get that. Apple's up 0.35, Google's up 0.5. Everything else is red. Tech, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, all three red. Now, why could that be? Well, today, after the market closed today, we have Microsoft earnings, we have Meta earnings, we have Google earnings. All three of those are red. No, I'm sorry, two of them. Google's green, but the other two are red. So maybe a little anticipation. Now, my question is, to everyone listening, is that what are we going to see this afternoon in terms of not only the data posting, but forward-looking data? Because I have to ask myself, why would companies aggressively start cutting jobs if they're about to post positive forward-looking data? Yes, I know the fundamentals and the stock valuation of stock prices usually, react bullish when you get job cuts because of the cost savings. I get that. But forward-looking data, what would happen in the event that they posted negative forward-looking data given the fact that they have to cut so many jobs? Do I have any thoughts on the TLT weekly volume candle for TLT? Well, the beautiful thing about TLT is that we're finally starting to see some action on this name. Obviously we've been waiting for a very long time to play. We are definitely long position. We are positive on our long positions, and I'm going to continue to build into the position. But let's go to the weekly candle that you asked about. There's not a lot of spike in volume on the weekly candle, which tells me that there's no supply. So I would still look. I'm still like to see 94 here, but the fact that we've been on an upward trend since May on bonds and they haven't dropped kind of is starting to align with the fact of rotation going into early 2026, which a lot of people agree that that could be the time we start to roll and then pop on the bond. So until I see a high volume topic on the weekly, I mean, I don't think we've hit any kind of major supply. I'm going to try to time some 0DTE puts if it drops. There you go. Cool beans on the Discord. Nice Nomad Trader. Amazing. It's a few weeks back that we had the massive volume candle. Oh, yeah. Look at that daily chart, man. That's an obscene daily chart. This has a very close look to July of 2024. This looks like a blow-off top before a downturn. It just has that look. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Alrighty. I do think a strangle will play this afternoon. I wouldn't do a 0. I would probably do a 30, a 1 day, but I think they'll pay. I think they'll pay. $69.47 to 52. NASDAQ has all this liquid at 312 to 325. Would make sense with the put premium jacked through the roof. Yeah. Yep. Now, I'll kind of reiterate what the analysis was from this morning, was that the problem is that the market is incredibly unstable. So the market right now is positioned for a little bit of retracement going into the end of the week. The problem with that is, if we don't get that, it's going to result in another gap up on the SPY, and it's going to blow the mind of everybody on X and everybody else. And they could start bringing in the possibility of 27,000 on NASDAQ and 7,100 or so on ES. If we don't get a red this action, we're going to squeeze going into the new month. Which is interesting. Not a lot of movement right now. I don't anticipate taking another trade until FOMC, but if we get something set up, we will. Maybe 10 o'clock or 10:30 or so. EBT, yeah, so all food, the food stamps, SNAP, expires November 1st. So what, 42 plus million? I go without the food stamps. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I've seen a lot of people saying they will steal. Well, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. I mean, SPX. I've made millionaires in a day with 5K. Yeah. So I'll tell you this with FOMC. FOMC has a very high probability, and listen to me. SPX has a very high probability of reversing the move the next day. So anything you take, I would caution against zeros, because if you're wrong, you're going to lose money almost instantaneously. If you wait and take a position for the next day, like October 30th, you have at least a chance of that reverting back with probability in your favor and making you money. And I know that because I've been on the wrong side of that many times. I bought 10 contract calls for Friday. 708s. That's aggressive. It's aggressive. Do the Fridays. There you go. Gold rolled back over here, so I'll take my exit. That's good stuff. Nasdaq is 26,300 and rolling back over here. We have a little bit of a move there. That was a quick move. What's going on here? What's going on here? What's oil doing? Oil's rocket ship. Oil just posted inventory, so that's why. Let's see if they're going to play gotcha with people trying to chase that short position. We have 800 million in puts, 37 million calls. So definitely put heavy. Definitely put heavy here. $27,000. That was a gotcha. Right here, 26,300. I love it. Interesting. 890 million of puts so far. Still rolling back over. Gold is starting to roll back over here now too. Volume is steadily decreasing with no spikes at all. ES is there. Silver and gold are rotating back over. Oh man, natural gas getting to the fade point. Ooh, you played some NG. I don't play NG. What was your entry on gold? 24-1 on gold. I've blown at least 5 accounts on FOMC dailies. Maybe one put, one call, same strike today. Quick loser. It'd be better if the market makers just expire worthless or their puts. It's better if market makers written calls expire worthless or their puts. I don't know if it's one way is better than the other. All I know now here is that puts are steadily getting more negative, which means they're increasing positions in puts, and calls are decreasing positions. So, right here. And we're just chilling right now. Oil's flying. ES and NASDAQ are both lower at the moment. Maybe if they break here, you're going to have the obvious pivot at 26,265 NASDAQ, and then after that it'll be morning low touch. But I definitely don't like shorting NASDAQ at lows. Do I have any apple trees? I had an apple tree, but deers destroyed it. And yeah. So this coming spring, we're going to invest in a very large quantity of peach trees and apple trees, and then we're going to fence them off and then put protection on them for the deer. Tried lemon tree. I don't know if I'm in that climate, dude. 15-minute short top. Possibly, yes, on a longer time frame. So we got a double top wick on NASDAQ with a little bit of volume there on the first one. Yeah, on the shorter time frame, though, we have a little bit of a bottom wick right here, but we're smack dab in the middle range. Just nothing crazy. Gold is still falling off nicely. Alaskan lemons are juicy. Interesting. There's a guy in my neck of the woods that grows pineapple. He built a tropical climate greenhouse to grow pineapple. And you can only harvest them every 2 years. So every 2 years he has this gigantic pineapple harvest of locally grown pineapple. It's nuts. Or I guess it's wild or diabolical, as what the kids call it nowadays. 4021.3. Look at this volume coming in for NASDAQ. I'm sorry, for gold. Gold's coming in for the very high volume spike right here. That is extremely high volume on gold. It's interesting. I wonder if USD skyrockets today. We'll keep a close eye on it. I thought you lived in Texas. Negative. I've spent a lot of time in Texas with the military flight school. I spent at Randolph Air Force Base in flight school with the T-6 and T-38s. But I've never lived there. I've just been stationed there for a while. Gold, I mean, NASDAQ continues to get wrecked. So just be careful with NASDAQ right now. Gold is putting on a beautiful high volume 3C bounce. Can they hold it? 25.0 on gold will be your indication to go long. Did you get your aircraft allocation like they do in the YouTube videos? No, because I was National Guard. National Guard, you already know what you're going to fly going into trading. Whereas at big Air Force, they don't find out until those it's called drop parties, which is a really cool, fun event. $26,300. Is all that liquidity. 26,187 is the bottom side, and not to mention we have 400 up there as well. But this is just pre-FOMC shakeout. It took NVIDIA 110 days to add $1 trillion in market cap. That is a textbook 3C long op on gold right there. Gold is so clean, dude. When it puts on these 3C moves to the third C, it's clean. It's clean. I love it. Sadly, can't trade gold on TPT. Yeah, you can. You can't trade platinum, but you can trade gold. I'm a pilot in Florida. Oh, very cool. Yeah, being a pilot is a fantastic career. So NASDAQ is still coming up a little bit lower. Gold put on a beautiful bounce, confirmed at 4025.1. And now have gone up to 28.29. We'll see if that actually holds. That is a clean volume bounce right there. RTY still holding the highs. VIX at the moment is still holding just under 17. We have 800 million in puts and increasing. We have no call activity to speak of, and we have liquidity higher into 300. So they're just back and forth here. NASDAQ, another big slide down to 262. Will they bounce it off the morning low or not? I don't like the look of it. Oh, big red. Look at that. Boom. It's crazy stuff, bro. It's crazy stuff. They're sliding it. They're slamming it. Slamming it. With volume, though. Let's see what they're going to do with it. Let's see if they're going to trap all the people chasing the short positions here or what. First bottom wick on the books. Boom. Volume coming in. Volume is coming in. Let's take a look. Higher high would be roughly, what is that, 267 or so? Right here. There it goes. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. High volume is clean. High volume is clean. Look at that. Extraordinary. High volume is clean, baby. How long did you trade before you started seeing consistent profits? 3 years. And the key word there, I like the way you phrase that question, because usually I get asked the question, how long until you are profitable? But I think that's a more accurate question. Until I started seeing consistent profits was about 3 years, which meant I knew at that point I had something that I could begin to adjust, fix, trim, and improve. And consistency there is the key word. And it took me 3 years. And a lot had to go into that. Not only obviously studying, learning, reading, but a little introspection. I had to learn not to over position size, not to be a gambler, not to go for too big of wins. Because the worst thing that absolutely happened to me when I first started trading is that I hit 2 massive wins being an idiot in the first year of my trading. And I thought, this easy? You're telling me that I'm struggling, going to a job when all I had to do was trade? And then, of course, you all know what happened. I got wrecked. When price is like this, these little bouncers are kind of obvious, easy plays. I love it. Smoke. Look, they're adding liquidity on Bookmap up to 337. See, the order book is shifting a little. Matt Damon. What a great movie. I got humbled big time, June T. Big time. If I ever meet Matt Damon in real life, I'm definitely giving him some crap for that. I don't know if I'll ever meet him though. Let's see. Taeyon, if you want to learn more about it, I did a podcast episode about that story. So there you go on my Spotify podcast. Let me know what you think. For the 3 C's, do you look for volume on the 1 minute, then wait for a higher candle on the previous candle? Yes, exactly. So I track the 1 minute charts to show me volume inflow. It's the quickest way for me to identify volume. And then, simultaneously, because I've got the 5 minute chart up as well, I'm looking for the associated wick. The bottom wick, the top wick, no wick at all, whichever. Because a lack of confirmation is just as important as a preponderance of confirmation. And then, of course, I will look for the higher high. And I've found that blend has done a really good job at helping me trim up entries, be a little bit more clean with my entries for this style of price action. You're welcome. I'm 3 months into trading futures, and it's absolutely more emotional control. It is. 90% of trading is everything between your ears. There's a reason why you could take someone who's incredibly profitable, take their system, and give it to somebody else, and it's a complete dumpster fire, because it's all about how you manage trades, how you manage your risk, how you manage yourself. Less is more. I think the prop firm space generates a very unhealthy idea of trading. 100% agree. Even when you learn to ignore money and just do strategy, eval phase gives an unhealthy mindset. I completely agree with that, yes. Prop firms can be an incredibly valuable asset, but they can also be absolutely destructive. You have to understand that prop firms are businesses. They're there to take your money, not help you make money. They don't care at all about your interests. They don't care. They are businesses. If you can understand that, you can begin. Every time you want to hit that reset button and re-up the evaluation, remember that every time you do that, you are making somebody else rich. You're giving them money. Picture prop firms as Scrooge McDuck diving into a sea of gold. And you'll start to understand that, hey, maybe I shouldn't sit here and hit reset 57 times. Instead, try to focus on taking their money, not them taking your money. Oh, you stupid peacocks. Get out of here. NASDAQ is holding 26,264. We have a high volume 3C bounce. What about your feelings? Do they at least care about that? No, they don't. They don't care about your feelings. Well, actually, they do. They want you to be emotional, so you give them more money. In your opinion, what is a strong way to grow your portfolio from scratch? The only thing I can recommend, Jonathan, is the way I did it. I did not grow my portfolio initially from trading. I grew it from funding it with my W-2, from my other investments. And then, as I had the luxury of refunding myself as I lost money, and this is way before prop firms, this is real money, that I was able to survive long enough to begin to inflate through trading, inflate the balance through trading. So the best way to do it is to just keep funding yourself, investing in yourself while you're actively learning. But in order to do that, stay far away from options, stay far away from futures, and only do commons. You're only trading stocks, period. Because your goal in the first 3 years of trading is not to make money, it's to get in repetitions. You've got to be able to survive long enough to get your reps in. Now you have the ability in this modern era to trade prop firms. And if you are consistent enough, you can pull out. I mean, I've seen people who just started trading who got lucky enough to pull out $10, $20, $30,000 on a payout, which is very possible nowadays. So you have an extra tool that I didn't have when you first started to bring in a ton of capital very quickly, if you're so inclined. Looks just like me. How do you do your strangles for a day like today? I know you prefer at least a day out. How wide do you do the strikes? It really depends on the range of the day. If you're doing SPX, obviously you're dealing with a little inflated premium, so you're going to have to balance the possible deltas you're getting on the position with the premiums. So it depends. If you're doing SPX, you're probably going to have to pay 30, 40 bucks out of the money. The further along I traded, I started trimming my positions from 1 to 2 minis to 1 to 3 micros. Less is more. That's beautiful. Absolutely right. Little testimony. I only trade commons. I've been trading since 2021. This last month has been one of my better months in a long time. 5% on the whole port. Only trade shares, no positions held overnight. 3 C's to put everything into perspective. Position size, proper setups. Only trust the process. Emotions came way down. Love it. That's beautiful. I wish that could be my top testimony for the server. And when I build the website and have testimony page, we'll put stuff like that on there. But that's 100% it. Is if you can apply the 3 C's with a very low risk strategy, all of a sudden, your emotions come way down. You stop worrying about every little candle, and you start to trust the process. But when you live and die by one candle because you're slinging 10 minis like Wyatt Earp, there's not much I can do for you. Because the market will be your huckleberry. Oh, the missus is making white rice with bone broth, and I am super pumped. Do I ever trade in the shower like Tori trades? The only trading I do in the shower is when I'm trading punches with my shower daydream fights with people who've wronged me who I didn't respond to. Like I should have said that. And I'm like, oh yeah, come on. And I'm like punching air in the shower. You ever done that? No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't. I don't think I've ever brought a phone in the shower before. You have no idea how much you've helped me in the community. Thanks, Kyle. This journey has been one of the hardest things emotionally, but I would not have made it through the other side unless you drilled these ideas. So I love it, Kyle. It's amazing, dude. Absolutely amazing. I appreciate the kind words, and I'm super stoked that you're obviously here and being successful. Undefeated in the shower arena, yeah. Alrighty. Do I keep track of the R&R? This is just some BS. I've seen a lot of emphasis on good R&R. If I'm being honest, I could care less about R&R. In a way. I think, in my opinion, if you want my true opinion, JDM, a lot of people talk about R&R on X because it sounds fancy. It sounds technical. Look at me. I have a strong R&R. I'm a big fancy technical trader. I think it's a bunch of nonsense. I think it's jargon. Now, having said that, R&R does come into play when I'm looking for entries in a way that what type of play am I looking to put on? Am I looking for a quick scalp that I'm going to get 5 points and get out, or am I looking for a 200-point bounce? So in a way, yes, it does play into that. But if I'm going to sit here and obsess over my R&R, I could care less. All I care about is my daily average profitable or unprofitable. Is my equity curve up or down? That's what I'm looking for. So, no. If you're going to be obsessed over your R&R, in my opinion, you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities. You're going to miss out on good quality opportunities that may not be a high R&R. So, yeah, kind of what Leo just said. Having a good system on which to define entries in itself will take care of all that for you. I've even seen dudes say that they go on this thing of defending a negative R&R. You could be profitable with a negative R&R, which whatever, So whatever. I keep things very simple. How do I think the market is going to react to this rate cut today? If I had to guess, we will start out with a large green, and then either today, this afternoon, or tomorrow will result in a red. But I don't know. What's up, baby? How you doing, big dog? What time frame do I mark the high and the low? I use 1 hour chart. So the first hour of the day, you put in the high and the low. So between 9:30 and 10:30 Eastern, you put the high and the low in, and that's your morning high and low. I lost in the shower, slipped and fell out. Yeah. Or simplicity taught me how to trade and be more patient with my entries and strategy. Yep. Yep. Anything in any career field, corporate or trading or otherwise, I was told very early in my military career to be very aware and avoid people who are overly technical for no reason. Whether they use acronyms for no reason, they try to talk over your head with overly technical nonsense, and I've applied the same concepts to trading. If I see you being overly technical for no reason, I immediately think you're completely full of crap. Because I can get out of a thesaurus too and start to look up all these fancy terms. But it's a bunch of nonsense. Is keep things bottom line simple in trading. Buy high volume bounces, short high volume spikes, and that's it. Period. And after that, everything after that is just managing your emotions. Doesn't have to be crazy complicated. Alrighty. Liquidity on NASDAQ still holding at 300 here, and we're still just kind of chilling, trying to triple bounce off of 250. Overly technical is a perfect way to put it. Yeah. Yeah. Nice, Dan. Weren't they wrong? The concept of second bounce is a game changer. Definitely. Definitely. By 1 point, do you mean percentage points or 1 point of a 0.01? When I'm talking about points here, most likely it's going to be in reference to 1 point of a futures move, which is 4 ticks. 4 ticks equals 1 point. My boy Trivia Mike is hurting. Captain Condor move his position? Good question. Let's take a look. Right now, there's an aggressive amount of positioning. Ooh. What just happened here? I need to refresh this. Let's hit refresh. $7,000. We have a 69.50, but 69.15 and 68.50 are the legs right here. So 69.15, 68.50. And if you notice yesterday, we saw him roll into that. We saw them shift from the 6900 into 69.15 yesterday afternoon. And then now they have it from 69.15 down to 68.50. How's Kit? I don't know. I hope she's doing well. I haven't spoken to her in a while. I know she was having some medical issues there for a while. I never thought in a million years I'd look out my window and see a peacock looking at me. It's like he's staring into my soul. Get out of here, peacock. I missed this. Can you detail? Yeah, so the double bounce. It's just when you get a high volume spike and you're looking for a bounce, it is very common for the market to just top wick back over and give you a double bounce at or about the same level. It's just more of a retest, gather more inventory, bounce type of thing. Now here we're getting a fourth attempt, which looks like absorption for a fall. I don't know if that's going to happen, but you get a bounce, 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 and then bleh, this type of move. That's what it looks like at least. I don't know if they're going to do that, but that's what it could look like. Here's another top wick, and they're getting explosive red candle here. There you go. Interesting. If they clear this, we'll have another shifted, fine new liquidity right there. See that? There you go, 242, 243, and looking for even lower. That was a perfect time to ask that question to Hari. Beautiful. You have the my funded futures tag. Do you like my funded futures? What do you think about that? Anyone else use my funded futures? Gold, beautiful 3Cs, man. Gold is clean, clean, clean. Oh, I see what's going on here. So sorry to interrupt. It was a great movie. Jokes aside, she's doing better. Wants to join back up and dealing with personal health. Interesting. I'll have to reach out to her. Go away, Swan. Yeah. All right, still dropping over here after this absorption. That was 4 bounces and then failure. And now we have to go finding liquidity. Have to seek out liquidity. Right here. We have a very weird settling of options data. In fact, that looks like it's like they turned off the options market. Look at this. This is really weird. See how the lines just flatline? It's like they turned off the options market. Interesting. While limiting yourself to 1 to 2 trades a day, how do you balance going for a quick scalp versus waiting for a bigger move? If I'm being honest, man, after May, we talked about this past summer. We talked about my burnout. I was very much burned out coming into May. I think y'all kind of heard it in my voice. A lot of people said that they were getting aggravated with the quality of the stream and the server, myself included. And then I took that break, and when I came back, I kind of had this refreshed look at that. Like I no longer care to chase moves, because the whole thing that I've been dealing with personally was that always having to need to perform having the Discord server. So I kind of came back to this, I don't really care. Like, if you don't like the way I trade, then GTFO. If you do, then more power to you. I love you. I love having you here. And I kind of took that approach, and it's drastically helped me, which helped me go back to my normal. I'm taking 1 trade a day, maybe 2 if anything, and I'm done. That's it. And I literally, when I log off here, when I'm done doing any of my content production and admin stuff, I don't even think about the charts. I don't even check my phone. Nothing. So it's helped me drastically. There's always more opportunity. There's always another opportunity. There's always another trade. There's always another big move. So I take my 1 or 2 trades and I'm done. Oh, thanks, Kyle. Appreciate that. I was also building a home. Yes. I don't use MFF. Long story. Lucky draw from a free account. Never materialized. Still waiting to pass TPF. I see. Another bottom wick. FOMO is like a drug. It is. I just got stopped out. Was this a good 3C setup? So yeah, I mean, that was a good strong 3C bounce on NASDAQ. It just broke down. It was a great 267 entry up to 282. It got you roughly 15 points before it top wicked. It just broke down. That is what it is. I didn't take it, but there you go. Have I ever scalped options on a 15-second chart? Negative. I've never gone that low. 1 minute chart is the shortest time frame I've traded, and even then it's more analytical than it is execution. So, what are my favorite tools to use in Confluence besides what the rest of the market is doing? Well, Bookmap, of course, is fantastic. Bookmap order flow is extraordinary for identifying the market skew. I use spot gamma to identify options data and options movement, and then of course the market itself with price action. That's it. A lot of successful mentors are trading 60%. What do you mean 60%? You're 80 to 90. A lot of people trying to find a reliable mentor. Don't see that. Well, in all fairness, 80 to 90% was only for a few weeks. That was an outlier, and that was not something that I would normally perform at. It was just a very special week, a very special month. I can't maintain that kind of performance for a long time. I don't think anybody can. Performance, yeah. Tell me about it. Another high volume bottom wick on NASDAQ right here. We've got about 10 minutes left, and then we'll call it at least a morning, and then we'll come back for the afternoon, right before FOMC begins. Some guys in your Discord sending friend request. If you wouldn't mind, throw them my way, and I'll ban them. So I try to come in at least once every morning and scrub scammers and the people that are raiding and stuff. I took the 3C on German DAX. This is a good 3C, or did I get lucky? No, it's extraordinary. It's textbook. Look at the volume spike. Volume spike, bottom wick, and you took it right at the higher high. That's amazing. Textbook. I would file that away as textbook. Well done. It doesn't have to be, the wick does not have to be on the volume. It just has to be on the setup. NASDAQ is about to take this baby out. So NASDAQ is trying to close the higher high at 261, at which point we might get 280, but they got to get the 260, 261. Right there. We do have volume though. We'll see, man. We'll see. What's gold doing here? Gold is putting on another bounce back and forth. ES is still chilling right here. NASDAQ is hanging out at 260. We do have liquidity up to 300. I don't know if that's actually going to play out, but we need a 261 close for NASDAQ to get the 3C bounce if you're going to play that. Trying to bounce it. There you go. There you go. NASDAQ closed 261, and now it's on a move up. It's on a move up, homies. Can I scalp ES using options flow? Yes, you can. What's the address of the screen at the bottom left? That is spotgamma.com. Right there. Which I am an affiliate of. So if you want to get some money off of your plan, if you do want to sign up for that, you can have my affiliate code, and it'll save you some money, depending on which one you want to do. I only recommend products that I believe in. Spot Gamma and Bookmap are the two that I recommend. Fantastic visual flow for order flow, and fantastic flow for options. Do I think the new Fed after Powell is going to be a good thing or damaging to economy? I don't know, man. I think, and I don't want to get into a political conversation, but I think the next Fed is going to be installed. I think it's going to be very much in line with what Trump wants, and obviously Trump wants boomy boomy. Trump wants nothing but green, baby. So I have to imagine that whoever is going to take Jay Powell's place is going to start cutting rates aggressively. Are there ETFs for granite? I don't know, but if they were, I would probably take them for granted. That was terrible. Is there a reason why granite ETFs would be popping in IV short term? I don't know. Rich people buy lots of granite countertops. Ayo. I'm ashamed. $26. I don't even know what they're doing here. Homemade cream cheese crab rangoons. All ingredients except for the crab are from local farms. That sounds amazing, Kennedy. Amazing. I call that the Ozempic special, but delicious. Trump's team player dumps the market for his friends to yeah, tell me about it. All right, NASDAQ is starting to put on a beautiful 3C double bounce, triple bounce actually, and now heading higher. Main liquidity on Bookmap is 26,300, which is only 20, 30 points higher for NASDAQ. So it's not that big of a idea to think that we're going right for 300 here. After a beautiful close over 261, talked about that, and then now we'll see if we'll go for 300. Do I think the bond vigilantes will react to him changing out the Fed? I think they will, and I am positioning for it. You know, I have begun to position myself into bonds for a while now. Not majority share, but I'm starting to build a nice little position here in TLT and the other bond products. So overall, there's only so much Trump can do. I mean, he can do his little things, but there's only so much he can do in terms of true market mechanics. Can't fight fate. I just can't believe NVIDIA, the FOMO and the anchor bias is real. I can't believe anything since 2021. It's been nuts. Yeah, definitely, Peter. Thank you, Peter. There was just a $4 million order come through for outside the money calls on Meta. Still going green on NASDAQ. Alrighty. Fresh crab meat. Yeah. I can't say I've ever had fresh crab meat. I mean, I've been to, you know, ocean destinations, but it's all frozen stuff. Like, where do you get actually fresh crab meat right out of the ocean? Northeast? Yeah. Fresh crab. New Orleans? Nolans? Yeah. Chinese supermarkets? Is that real? I'll go to Chinese market right now, I swear. I once saw an episode of Gordon Ramsay who went to like Greenland or Iceland, one of the two, and he was like pulling up just king crab by the handfuls and just eating them right there on the ice. And we're paying $78 a pound for it. And apparently it's a nuisance. There's so many king crab that it's a nuisance, and yet we're paying $74 a pound for it. Hey, they just put on liquidity at 26,375. I hate oysters except when I get them fresh in Seattle. Here in the chemical-laden Gulf, they're terrible. Interesting. I do love me some oysters, but I've only had them in the southeast, Estados Unidos. Got to go to Alaska. Heck yeah, baby. My dad lives on Chesapeake Bay, and he has crab pots. We pull them right out of the pot and onto the grill. Interesting. That'd be delicious. Delicious. VIX has gotten steamrolled from 17 back down to 1660, and everything is kind of slow right here. Oh, thanks, Christos. Yeah, I completely forgot about FOMC today. Thanks for reminding me. Man, I was about to start taking a bunch of trades too. $26,200 NASDAQ. Sorry, like 50% of everything that comes in my mouth is sarcastic. I apologize. Oh, man. So me. All right, 1 minute till the end of the stream. Any questions, comments, concerns? Right now, everything is pretty stagnant. We had a couple of decent opportunities here on NASDAQ, of which I don't really want to partake in. Gold, for me, was the trade of the day. We've got 800 million or so of puts, 460 million of calls purchased, and they're not really moving. They're just kind of chilling. Am I still holding NEO puts? Indefinitely. I always have NEO puts. VIX spiked to 17, back down to 1664. Baseline liquidity here on NASDAQ is 26,300. They do have a 125 level, but the big dog stuff, about 1,000 lots or so, is 300. ES, 6940 or so. So that's about it. If you have any questions, please hit me up. Throw me a DM. Put them in the channel. Come join us in the Discord. Otherwise, I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Or I'm sorry, tomorrow morning for another stream of the Discord. We are going to stream this afternoon as well for FOMC. And then if none of that suits you, then come join us next Wednesday for another Discord stream. So, appreciate y'all. Will I be on stream? I'll be on Discord and on YouTube, yes. So, anyway, hope you all have a good rest of the day. I'll see you here in about a couple hours, and I'm out. See ya.